This is Ritson and you're watching Sport Icons.
You know what, I enjoyed that fight a lot and I enjoyed the result a little bit more, I ain't gonna lie, and I was a little bit relieved, to be honest with you. And of course I'm talking the Sandman, Ritson, in his first fight at £140 after really struggling to make the weight in his last couple of fights. At 135, he decided to make the jump to 140. Of course, at 135, there wasn't too much he could really do more anyway. He'd already won the British title outright. So this is his first fight at £140, and he took on a very, very capable fighter from Argentina called German Argentinos Benitez. And Benitez came to fight. He weren't here to make up the numbers. He weren't here to collect a check. And that's exactly what Ritson needed. Now, the way that the fight started off in the first, 4, maybe even 5 rounds. As I said, this is only a 10-round fight. So easily the very first half of the fight was pretty much all Ritson. And he was bashing up Benitez quite comfortably. Listen, he was getting caught with some pretty silly shots, I ain't going to lie. Some pretty flush shots as well. And Benitez knew that because Ritson got hurt in his last fight to the body, you know what, I'm going to go to the body. And it was a little bit effective. It wasn't as effective as Patera was, but it was still quite effective. You could see Ritson at times wincing a bit, but no boxer likes the body shots. None of them do. If you ask them, you want a headshot or a body shot, they're going to say, you know what, try and take my head off. That's just how boxing is. So, as I said, the very first, in my opinion, the first 5 rounds were pretty much all Ritson. Maybe round 5, a bit of a swing. I felt that Benitez was starting to gain a little bit of confidence, a little bit of momentum going into or the start of some momentum into number 5, and then he was starting to build up and build up and build up. But then he kind of like 2 rounds later, he easily lost another round for me in round number 7. But Ritson was well ahead on the points, and I thought, okay, this is going to be an easy night's work. At times, I thought Ritson was going to get him out of there. I ain't going to lie. And I was a little bit surprised that Benitez was tough, because Ritson was using that ramrod jab of his to great effect. Every time he threw it, he was pretty much landing it. And the uppercut was there for the taking, and he threw it on quite a few occasions, and he hit Benitez. I don't want to say flush, but he hit him hard enough to get Benitez's attention and to go into like retreat mode. And I think that was pretty much the game plan, really, was to just try and like hurt him and then maybe finish him off in like the later rounds. But because the very first half of the fight was pretty much all Ritson, with the occasional flurry back from Benitez, of course, as I said, he did catch Ritson on a couple of occasions, which did look pretty mean. But the bit that's really kind of like got me worried about the result of this fight was pretty much the last half of the fight. Luckily for me, in my honest opinion, I gave Ritson another round in the second half of the fight, as I said, round number 7. But Benitez, he turned it up. When he looked down, he looked out. He looked like he was ready to quit. Maybe his corner may have thrown the towel in. Had they have done it, I wouldn't have blamed him, to be fair. But I think clearly the tactics were pretty spot on from Benitez, as in get Ritson into the second half of the fight, as this is a new weight for him, and then put it on him. And that's exactly what he done. He caught Ritson with some beautiful, beautiful shots. He really did. And thankfully, Ritson has the Geordie jaw. He really does. And the Geordie heart. Big up Sport and Icons too, by the way, right? Anyway, Ritson was just soaking up punishment. He really was. And he had the look on his face like, holy crap, not again. So clearly, especially around number 8, he hurt Ritson pretty badly with a very, very good left hook to the body. And you could just see the blood just drain from Ritson's face. But listen, the judges were seeing it differently, which is why I was saying that the very first half, in my opinion, was all Ritson, with round number 7 as well. But Benitez, you could probably argue he won the second half of the fight, all barring that one round, is what I said. But even that round was a bit of a swinger. Even round number 5 was a bit of a swinger as well. So had the judges have given it to Benitez, I wouldn't have been shocked. Disappointed, yes, but shocked, no. And I was a little bit worried about how the judges were going to score this one. What I wasn't prepared for was how wide the judges had Ritson winning this one. One judge had him winning by 9 rounds, so only gave Benitez 1 round. The other 2 judges gave Benitez 2 rounds. Now, as much as I wanted Lewis Ritson to win, and I fully expected him to win, and I'm very, very happy that he got this result. He's a fellow Geordie, of course, but he didn't win it that wide. I ain't going to lie, I'm not going to be dishonest. He won that fight, for me, by a couple of rounds. And as I said, they were even swing rounds, so even a draw, as the commentators had it, they had it as a draw. I wouldn't have complained too much, I'd have been disappointed. But I'm glad that Lewis Ritson got the win. I'm glad that he got the nod. I'm not glad that he won it by such a distance as the judges had it. But listen, now he's the WBA, he's the international champion at £140 and potentially looking at Robbie Davis Jr. Of course, he's going to be fighting next weekend in Liverpool. It's an interesting one. I think Lewis Ritson, he's got all the tools. His defence is a little bit lacklustre at times. Better than what it usually is, I ain't going to lie. But he did get hit flush with some pretty good shots. But this is boxing, you know, you can't swim without getting wet. So you're going to get hit. And he's got a very good chin to him. But it does seem that the opponents are going to look at him and go, body shots. That's what's going to stop Lewis Ritson or slow him down. Because Ritson is a very, very pressure fighter. As I said, pressure bursts pipes. And that's what he does. And it's been working on most of his opponents, but his last 2 now are like, no, this ain't going to work this time. So Lewis really needs to change up something. He needs to add something extra to his arsenal. His jab, in my opinion, is a little bit out of range. He needs to get a little bit closer with that jab. And he needs to use the right hook a lot more than what he did. But anyway, listen, he got the win. We'll have to wait and see what happens. It's a good bounce back fight for him. So congratulations to him. I'm buzzing for him. I'm really, really happy. So big up to Lewis Ritson. Gets the win over Argentinos, or German Argentinos, Benitez. You drop your thoughts below about it. Click the thumbs up to this video and subscribe. Catch you all on the next one.